welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today we are going to discuss the Hindu newspaper dated 22nd February 2018. Let's begin. Now we move to page number 8. Here the news reads, as the borders begin to close. Now this article talks about the growth of developing nations like India and China and their ability to influence global economic policies and voice their development concerns. This article further relates their ability to influence global economic policies and voicing their development concerns and how this ability has helped their economic growth and growth of movement of goods and people between countries. And the article further relates this ability of these developing nations' economic growth and growth of movement of goods and its people to the increased remittances. And this increased remittance has helped lift millions out of poverty and unemployment and effectively has enhanced their standard of living and human development. Now, as per estimates, 23 countries led by India followed by China, Philippines, Mexico, Pakistan and Nigeria receive over 80% of global remittances. And as a share of gross domestic product, the top 5 recipients are smaller nations, namely Haiti, Kyrgyz Republic, Liberia, Nepal and Tajikistan. And most of these countries are low and middle income earning countries. Now, as far as India is concerned, Kerala receives remittances worth 36.3% of its gross state domestic product. As we can see, the growth of remittances in India from the year 1991 to the year 2017, that is from mere $2.1 billion to $65.4 billion. However, these figures touched around $70.4 billion in the year 2014, and since then it has retarded a little. And in this respect, let us also see India's remittances from its migrants from various regions. As we can see, India receives maximum remittances from West Asia, that is the Middle East countries, and the remaining from North America and Europe. However, with the growing turmoil across the globe, we are seeing a decline in remittances, not only in India but across the world. So in this respect, let us understand the various reasons which has impacted a decline of remittances received from migrants worldwide and including that of in India. The various reasons which can be attributed to a decline in remittances are rapid changes in the economy and socio-political climate in West Asia, Brexit or decision of United Kingdom to move out of the European Union, protectionist measures adopted by the Trump administration in United States, sluggish regional economies of countries from where remittances is received, priority given to nationals in workforce over migrants, increase in demand for jobs by local youths, especially after the Arab Spring situation, Saudi nationalization scheme also called the NITI system. Now in this NITI system, it was adopted by the Saudi government with a view to provide employment opportunities to Saudi nationals ahead of foreign expatriates. This was done to reduce unemployment and to avoid a situation like Arab Spring in the Saudi Arabia. Another reason which can be attributed is the decline in oil prices. So all these have effectively attributed to the decline in remittances received worldwide, including in that of India. And this has also impacted Kerala because as we know, in India, Kerala is one state which receives the maximum remittances from abroad. Now let us see the impact of declining remittances on Kerala. Now as per a Kerala migration survey, now in 2016, it was for the first time in 20 years that the migrant community of Kerala has got smaller by 10%. This will effectively result in lower remittances for state of Kerala. Now with this reducing remittances, the government needs to find alternative means of employment and revenue generation for its labor force. Many immigrants have also returned back home due to volatile situation in the entire West Asia. Thus, in such a situation, the government needs to focus on skilling, reskilling and educating such people. This situation also holds true for the rest of the world, and reduced remittances due to geopolitical shift in liberal policies will affect millions of people. Thus, decline in remittances due to geopolitical and economic shift in liberal policies will impact millions of people around the world. So in order to overcome such a situation, the developing nations must develop a strategy to compensate for a restricted flow of remittances and also find alternatives for skill development in terms of jobs for its citizens. Now this topic becomes important from your economic section from the UPSC point of view. So in this news, we saw a relation between declining remittances and its impact on local economy and possible reasons for such declining remittances, as well as what the government should do to find alternatives for such people who have returned back home. Thus, a question can be asked with respect to how protectionist measures around the world will impact low and middle income group countries who rely mostly on such foreign remittances. So, by going through this particular news, you can answer such type of a question. With this, we move on to the next news. Now we move to page number 13. Here the news reads, blockchain technology could help prevent frauds like the one which happened at PNB or Punjab National Bank. Now this article focuses on the use of blockchain technology to prevent bank frauds. Now looking at the recent cases such as what happened at the Punjab National Bank, the article urges the use of blockchain technology which maintains a chronologically ordered record of all actions and files linked together in a chain in a distributed and decentralized database. And this can help to bring efficiency and transparency in the banking system. Now let us understand some of the advantages of this blockchain technology. Now this is based on an electronic decentralized ledger that gives all the participating entities, including banks, the ability to access a single source of information, and a ledger maintains a day-to-day transaction records. It also enables to track documentation and authenticate ownership of assets digitally and in real-time basis. This technology allows easy tracking and verification of entries. This technology also ensures cyber security, as most of the banking systems are based on a centralized ledger, where one common ledger records all possible transactions in a centralized ledger. Thus, any cyber attack at a single point of contact affects the entire system in a centralized ledger. However, since blockchain creates a distributed ledger, as you can see here, it will help in preventing such cyber crimes. It will also help in efficiency in the payment system, as it will enable higher security and lower cost for banks to process payments as it will enable higher security and lower cost for banks to process payments for clients and as well as for bank within themselves. Excessive dependence on technology to prevent bank frauds is also not the correct approach, as it may be misused. Now this blockchain technology, which was originally used for transaction in bitcoins, is now being increasingly considered by banks and financial institutions. As of now, the State Bank of India has implemented this technology for its cross-country payments and reconciliation system to improve internal fraud monitoring. Thus in this news, we saw the advantages of blockchain technology and how banks and financial institutions can utilize this concept of blockchain technology to monitor fraudulent activities in the payment system. This topic becomes important from paper 4, that is GS paper 3 point of view. As you can see, this science and technology developments and their application and effects in everyday life and challenges to internal security, specifically with related to basics of cyber security and money laundering and its prevention. Hence, this topic becomes very important from your exam point of view. Questions may be asked in prelims or mains with respect to blockchain technology, as well as how this blockchain technology will help the banking system in detecting frauds on a real-time basis. Thus, this news becomes very important. With this, let's move on to the next news. Now, the next news appears on page number 14. Here the news reads, Center reboots ENAM to draw more farmers. Here, in a bid to engage more farmers on the electronic National Agriculture Market platform, the government has unveiled mobile payment facility BHIM and other features in regional language. Now, the ENAM website is now available in Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali and Odia, besides Hindi and English. Thus, all these regional languages helps in catering to a larger section of the society of farmers. And in this respect, ENAM has been strengthened by adding features like MIS dashboard or Management Information System dashboard. Now this MIS dashboard captures and reports specific data points from each department within an organization and thus gives a snapshot of performance and trends of that particular sector, in this case of agriculture. Other features includes introduction of BHIM app. The government has also included other mobile payment facilities and enhanced features on mobile apps such as gate entry and payment via mobiles. Thus, the Ministry of Agriculture has actually rebooted the entire ENAM scheme so as to draw more farmers on its electronic national agriculture market platform. In this respect, let us understand what is national agriculture market or electronic national agriculture market. Now this electronic national agriculture market is a pan-India electronic trading portal which networks the existing APMC mandis to create a unified national market for agricultural commodities. Now this integration of agricultural markets across the country through electronic platform is an important measure to overcome the challenges of multiple market mechanism, as each state is administered by a separate APMC, that is a separate agriculture produce marketing committee. Now this separate administration of agricultural mandis by different states creates fragmentation of agricultural market and hinders free flow of agricultural commodities. This entire process ends up escalating the prices for the consumers without commensurate benefit to the farmer. Now National Agricultural Market addresses these particular problems by creating a unified market through online trading platform both at the state as well as at the national level. The NAM portal provides a single window services for all APMC related information and services. It effectively helps in streamlining the procedures across integrated markets. It removes information asymmetry between buyers and sellers. It provides real-time price discovery based on actual demand and supply. It promotes transparency in the auction process. And it also provides one license for a trader, which is valid across all markets in a particular state. Thus, these are the various advantages of national agricultural market. Now, this topic becomes very important from your exam point of view, as questions both in the prelims and mains can be asked regarding both advantages of NAM, how it helps in integrating the fragmented agricultural markets in India. Thus, this news becomes very important. As you can see, it comes within paper 4 under Marketing of Agricultural Produce and Issues Related to Constraints, E-Technology in the Aid of Farmers. Thus, this topic becomes very important from your exam point of view. With this, let's move on to the next news. Now, again on page number 13, the news reads, only M2M SIMs to have 13-digit numbers. Here, M2M, that is machine-to-machine SIMs, will be having 13-digit numbers from 1st July 2018. So, from 1st July 2018, all M2M communication devices shall carry a 13-digit number instead of 10-digit numbers, which is the normal practice. But this 13-digit number shall be applicable only to M2M devices and not for normal retail. And in this respect, the Department of Telecommunication has asked all telecom service providers to ensure alignment of their system with this 13-digit numbering. And in this respect, the DOT, that is Department of Telecommunication, has also said that migration of existing M2M numbers, that is the present M2M numbers, which are 10 digits number, shall start from 1st October 2018 and shall be completed by 31st December 2018. So in this news, it's important to understand this concept of machine to machine, M2M. So this topic was covered in the October 2017 edition of Focus magazine. So let's go through that particular edition and understand what this machine to machine means. As you can see in the science and technology section of the magazine, it was covered under talking machines, machine to machine communication. Here the news starts with the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, has recommended delicensing parts of spectrum to facilitate smooth rollout of machine to machine communications. So in this respect, let us also understand what this machine to machine communication means. As you can see, it is written that M2M or machine to machine communication refers to automated applications which involve machines or devices communicating through a network without human intervention. So this becomes an important thing to understand, that this refers to automated application which involve machines or devices, and this communication is through a network without human intervention. It further says that sensors and communication modules are used in M2M devices. So this becomes an important piece of information from your prelims point of view, enabling data to be transmitted from one device to another device through wired and wireless communication networks. So it involves both wired communication as well as wireless communication. This again becomes an important point from your prelims exam point of view. And how it will affect the industry? It says that it is expected to revolutionize the performance of various sectors, businesses and services by providing automation and intelligence to the end devices in a way that was never imagined before. It may be applied to robots and conveyor belts on factory floor, to tractors and irrigation on the farm, from heavy equipment to hand drills, from jet engines to bus, from home appliance to health monitoring, and it can bring substantial tangible social and economic benefits by giving more efficient and effective services to the citizen. Thus, it will effectively help in city management, villages, traffic management, agriculture management, etc. And in this respect, even the National Telecom Policy of 2012 had acknowledged that potential of M2M communication forms a key component of Internet of Things. Now, what is this Internet of Things? It says Internet of Things, that is IoT, is the interconnection via Internet of computing devices embedded in everyday objects, enabling them to send and receive data. Thus, we come to another terms, that is Internet of Things, which is again linked with M2M, that is machine to machine communication. As you can see, the various recommendations of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India to Department of Telecommunication with respect to M2M. It talks about licensing norms, de-licensing norms, identify key services, where it reads the government should identify critical services in M2M sector, and these services should be provided only by connectivity providers using licensed spectrum. Thus, licensed spectrum becomes an important piece of information. Thus, in this news, it's important to understand about M2M and also that M2M SIMs will now have 13-digit number. Now, this topic comes under paper 4, that is GS paper 3, under the science and technology developments and their application and effects in everyday life, as well as awareness in the fields of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and issues relating to IPR. So it covers under these two topics. Hence, this new development with respect to M2M becomes an important piece of news with respect to your UPSC point of view. With this, let's move on to the next news. Now we move to page number 9. Here the news reads, magnificent launch. Now this news is about the launch of Falcon Heavy, which is the world's most powerful rocket, which was successfully launched by a company, SpaceX, which was founded by Elon Musk. Now going through the specific, this Falcon Heavy is 230 feet tall, 2500 tons of thrust and 64 tons of payload. Now this specific is not at all necessary, but just a comparison with ISRO's GSLV Mark III, which had a payload of 10 tons. So you can see the marked difference between ISRO satellite and that of SpaceX, that is Falcon Heavy. So in this sense, we can see increased competition in the space exploration by the private sectors around the world. Now in this news, there's another important and interesting fact about boosters. First, let us understand what are boosters. Boosters help the rocket to propel into space. They get detached after a certain altitude and falls back on Earth, and after falling back to Earth, they are discarded or they are of no use. However, SpaceX has found a way to bring the boosters back to predetermined place in a controlled fashion with soft landing, and hence can be reused. Thus, reusing the boosters will substantially reduce cost of rocket project. In this SpaceX, of the 3 boosters, 2 landed perfectly at the Cape Canaveral in Florida, and the 3rd booster splashed into the Atlantic Ocean. Thus, Elon Musk through SpaceX is trying to build a rocket to reach Mars and has achieved technological breakthrough which has yet not been achieved by established space exploration agencies. Thus, in times to come, we may see competition even in space exploration by the private sector worldwide. Now, this news becomes important because this is a significant advance with respect to reusing of detached boosters. Thus, this concept might be utilized by ISROs in future projects. Thus, this becomes an important piece of information. Basic news about Falcon Heavy may be asked in your prelims examination. Thus, this topic becomes very important. With this, let's move on to the next news. Now, the next news appears on page number 13 again, and it reads NITI Aayog preparing new list of 6 PSUs. Here, the NITI Aayog is working on a list of 6 PSUs that could be privatized. These PSUs will be utilized for strategic disinvestment by the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, that is TPAM. And in the budget of 2018-19, the target for disinvestment proceeds has been kept at rupees 80,000 crore. In this respect, in the year 2017-18, the government had earned more than rupees 1 lakh crore through disinvestment. wherein the target was 72,500 crores. Now in this respect, let us understand about DIPAM. As you can see, the Department of Disinvestment was set up as a separate department in December 1999 and was later renamed as Ministry of Disinvestment from September 2001. Then, from May 2004, the Department of Disinvestment became one of the departments under the Ministry of Finance. And now, the Department of Disinvestment, which was under Ministry of Finance, has been renamed as Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, or DIPAM, from April 2016 under the Ministry of Finance. Now let us understand some of its important functions. As you can see, the functions of DIPAM includes managing central government's investment in equity, including disinvestment of equity in central public undertakings. Then undertake sale of central government's equity through offer for sale or private placement or any other mode in the erstwhile central public sector undertakings. To implement decision on the recommendations of administrative ministries, NITI Aayog, etc. for disinvestment, including strategic disinvestment. And it takes decisions in matters relating to CPSC, central public sector undertakings, for purpose of government investment in equity like capital restructuring, bonus, dividends, disinvestment of government equity and other related issues. And it also advises the government in matters of financial restructuring of the central public sector enterprises or CPSEs and for attracting investment in the said enterprise through capital market. So all these becomes important from your exam point of view, as this become an important news in your economy section. So a basic prelims question can be asked on DIPAM and its various functions, and also a mains question can be asked with respect to relation between DIPAM and NITI Aayog. Thus, this topic becomes very important. With this, we come to an end to today's news. Let's move on to the question for the day.